is we have to begin with the thought, with the idea, with the knowledge of the greatness of our vocation. The greatness of our priestly vocation. Yesterday we reviewed the priesthood according to the CCC and also Pastores Labuvovis. God has chosen us, His unworthy instruments. The greatness of our vocation, of which we are all unworthy. It is truly a gift from God, a gift which has not been given to all, even though many are called. Not all are called. Many are called, but few are chosen. God has chosen us not because we are better than others. There are millions who are much better than ourselves, but simply because He wanted to. He wanted to choose us. As Pope Benedict would say in his book, Jesus of Nazareth, it is not we who chose God, it is God who chose us. So it is even greater because it is easy to choose a master, to choose whom we want to follow. But it is God who chose us, not we who chose God. And this we remember even in the rite of ordination. The rector of our seminary would ask the bishop, Reverend Father, directing himself to the bishop, Holy Mother, the Church asks you to ordain this brother of ours, priest. And we all remember that. And the bishop asks, do you know if he is worthy? And our rector does not say, yes, bishop, he is worthy. No, it's not a big yes. But he goes around a little the question, and he says, after consulting the people of God, and so on and so forth, and then finally, it says, he has been considered worthy. He doesn't even say, yes, he is worthy. He has been considered worthy. In a way, parang pag tinanong, di ba? Maganda ba siya? Mabait. Mabait. So tayo ganun. Is he worthy? Well, sabi na ganito. Parang ayaw pagdating na worthy. He has been considered worthy. Because the truth is, strictly speaking, well, hindi naman tayo. We cannot be really worthy. Looking back at our vocation, at the very start of our priesthood, even before being a seminarian, this makes us really know, really be assured that we are not worthy. We are unworthy instruments. Maybe God made use of our friends to call us. Maybe our relatives, maybe our mother, our father, another priest, to make us see our vocation. And later on we realize that this is not really something that we deserve. Sometimes young boys are attracted because of basketball. Nakita na seminarians, saya-saya, basketball. Gusto ko rin mag-basketball. Okay. But that is God's way. He uses even the basketball to show us our vocation. And then, even as seminarians, we also realize that we are not really worthy. We still have our faults, we still have our challenges in our seminary formation, even in basketball. Minsan, sabi nila yung ibang players daw, formidable players. Not formidable. For me, the ball. So, buhaya. Ibig sabihin laging nasa kanyang bola. For me, the ball. So, minsan ganun din tayo. We see our weakness. Nandun yun. Sometimes we think, it was just my childhood ideals. But maybe hindi naman talaga yun. While in fact, it is all our weaknesses show that indeed we are unworthy. We are unworthy instruments. We are still trying, we are striving each day to fulfill what the Lord wants us to do. And as a consequence, because of this greatness of our vocation and our littleness, our inability to follow the demands of our vocation, even our Christian life, but still the Lord has chosen us, has called us. And this brings us to thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. Just like Matthew, Levi, who prepared a banquet for the Lord after having been called to become an apostle. So imagine, he was a tax collector and he was collecting money, collecting taxes. And he knew that that profession was very questionable in the past, during their time. Not because of the profession itself, but because of how they did, how they carried out their work. They were earning, they were getting money from their fellow Jews, from their fellow citizens, at the service of the Roman Empire. Sa mga dayuhan, no, pinagsasamantalahan yung mga kapwa, yung mga kapatid. Saint Matthew prepared a feast because of his vocation. He discovered his vocation when Jesus called him. And this brings us to joy, but also to humility and to a sense of unworthiness. And this brings us to ask for more fidelity to our vocation. Faithfulness to our vocation. Fidelity as something that would bring us joy in spite of the challenges. Fidelity. Maybe in our priesthood, our fidelity is just like, or even more, the fidelity of husbands and wives. Yes, we tell them to be faithful to each other, to love each other, to love their children, to give everything, their life, to lay down their life for their family. In our case, it's exactly the same. It is worth dying for our vocation, for our priesthood. And if it is worth dying for anything, it is also worth living for that. So it is worth living to the full for our vocation, for our priesthood. But priesthood is not simply a life of challenges. It is not simply a life of falls, a life of difficulties, problems, crises. Sometimes we focus too much on the negative. We are so afraid of these negative things that we forget the positive things. We have done a lot. We have done a lot. We have corresponded to God's will. The fact that we are still here, shows that yes, the Lord has been guiding us. And yes, we have been trying our best to correspond to God's will. If we continue looking back at our past, we see the faults, but we also see our fidelity. Until now, our fidelity. The many times I have helped the people in the parishes where I have been assigned, listening to their problems, spiritual direction, consultation, confession, even through our ordinary conversations, I have helped people a lot. For some, the many hardships I had to encounter and overcome in the new parishes that have been giving me, to raise them up from scratch. Sometimes new parish, start from zero. Ayan. For the many times people have come to me and say, Father, thank you sa homily niyo. Ang ganda-ganda ng homily. Tinamaan silang lahat. Siya pala hindi. Tinamaan silang lahat. Ang ganda-ganda. Or sometimes may isa naman nag-homily. Sabi niya, nakita ng pari, bagong pari siya, nag-homily daw siya. And then, parang Franciscan. Siya, talagang bagong-bago, medyo hindi pa siya confident. Mamaya, nung nag-preach na siya, may nakita siya isang matandang babae doon sa isang bundok sa Italy. May nakita siya isang matandang babae, iyak na iyak. Sa homily niya, ako natatas. Galing ko pala mag-homily. Tapos tuloy pa rin siya, pinahabaan niya. Iyak na iyak yung matandang babae. And then, after ng mass, ayan na talaga, hindi masaya-masaya niya yung Franciscan. Tapos sabi niya doon sa, pinatawag niya yung matanda. Sabi niya, halika kayo. Kamusta naman kayo? Parang na-touch yata kayo kasi umiiyak kayo the whole time. Tapos ginanahan lalo tuloy ako. Pasensya na, medyo napahaba yung homily. Bakit ano naman nakatouch sa inyo? Sabi ng babaeng matanda. Alam niyo, Father, kamamasay lang ng aking kambing. At tuwing nakikita kita, nakalala ko siya. Sabay bigote. Minsan, akala natin tayong nakatouch, kaya pala yung bigote. Hindi naman pala tayo. Yung balbal yung balbal niya. And then, minsan din, no? Minsan, akala natin, bali natin, natouch Hindi siya kasi iyak.